overall.
You're a trusty mate.
But you can win the lane hard enough, then it might not matter.
Okay.
I think they're doing
Natsumi
this
says,
to
why
try and...
you leave Force? No one says what? Natsumi says AA. Why you leave Force?
I think sometimes it's just easier to try to translate their drafting ideas rather than their actual conversations in the game. You know?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I also feel like I don't always see Natsumi all chat that much. Why you leave
It must
Force?
have been some friendly banter from their previous pub game that they ran into each other.
Yeah,
Usually,
I suppose
usually
so.
that's the case. But let's see. 9 class is on a solo mission. What is he doing? He's just here to take the watches
ward?
or what?
Yeah.
Just try to steal the
Block
setup
that
to
camp?
steal the rune here. Yeah,
It's
abusing the
pretty deep.
Slark Night Vision.
Right.
As he has the Dark Reef Renegade, the support Slark facet, so you can ward easily. And he's going to use the Sentry to... what should I call this? You know, to try and distract the creeps so his wave would enter the tower and the wave is going to push towards his side.
Yeah. Some creep wave equilibrium there. They might fight for some runes here as well. No, they won't. It'll just be tuned a piece here, as Talon will get the runes in, what do you call this, the mid-river? And PARIVISION will get the tributary rivers.
Yeah. And guess what? 9 class is moving top for first blood. Very, very interesting. He already skilled his Essence Shift. And he's ready to pounce.
So because he knows that the first wave will now push in under tower almost. Let's see, Natsumi's blocking it. Or blocking this top wave.
Nice stun, you know, forcing the Beastmaster to not get the block. And now the wave is going to push. I think Talon knows what's happening. Look at WS, he's playing so safe.
Here goes 9 class. WS, he already has Fire Spirits leveled.
Yeah, they're trying to punish this offlane Phoenix. This is why. Because Phoenix at level 1 is very weak. You know, not mobile. And this is why they're doing this. 3-1-1
pretty smart though,
is coming back. Question mark.
Because they've also prevented Jokum from being able to skip the wave, right? Which is one way that you can overcome the weakness of this lane.
Oh boy, this Phoenix is going to have a very fun time. Yeah, this is usually the time in a pub game. If this happens to you, you type a question mark.
Yeah, it's certainly not
fun.
Because the wave is pushing.
There's 2 range creeps. He's gonna get levels.
They're giving a free lane here to Natsumi down bottom. Satanic also with a free lane at the moment as WS is 1-1 to start off the lane.
Wait, they're actually going to just try lane all the way? Is that what's going on now?
Do you think so? Is that viable in current year?
I don't know. It's unusual for sure.
I mean, it is a very weak lane.
Their heroes are all very dependent on XP, right? If you look at Slug and A, what can they do without XP?
I hear you. Okay, and then there's a tossback. That's what AA can do, or sorry, the Tiny can do.
That was very, very interesting the way they tried to set that up, but it almost worked. A very interesting start towards the game, you know. We always learn something I wonder if, every day.
Like, is Cuckoo gonna react to this in any way? Because it eventually, maybe they'll be able to overpower here. But it seems like Natsumi's gonna go like treads into, I don't know, I guess Ags? Will he go for a helm as quote unquote? He is the carry, isn't he?
But then again, you also have to consider the fact that both offlaners are going to be very starved, right? Who is going to be more useful? A poor Centaur or a poor Phoenix, you know? And it seems like PARIVISION think that they are getting the better trade.
Look at him go, man. There's still level 1. There's the first blood. Bukalis gets it against Jokum. Level 2 all of a sudden for 9 class as he is trying to force the spells and the utility out of WS, who is like, guys, I cannot believe this. I can't lane. The support Slark and AA. I hate it when this happens in my pubs.
This is one of those what can you do moments, you know, unless the gyro comes in. But the gyro feels like he's also doing something very useful bot lane, right? He's completely zoning the center out of the lane. He's only at 8-0 right now.
Yeah.
Beastmaster is 18-6, completely free farming, you know. So I don't think it's really that bad.
He got pushed under the tower here. He is so far still alive. WS is going to fight to the death on this one, but does get the kill on an I-Class with the damage over time.
Picks up a convenient kill on the way out. Drive by, you know, take away. get some Wendy's.
Tapao Slark.
Yep.
Okay, so will PARIVISION commit to this? Is he going to TP straight away back to top lane?
I'm not sure. I think he's going to full commit because the wave is pushing into the tower and he can't really kill the Beastmaster. Even if he TP's bot, he can't kill the Beastmaster with the Centaur.
It's going mid.
Okay, he's going mid to give him some items.
I guess so, yeah. You can no
South.
longer refill bottles, so...
Yeah, very rarely nowadays you see supports TPing mid.
Right, exactly. Yeah, just kind of that's true.
And
He's a bit early as well, but it is at
going
least
back top.
some runes secured as top lane WS still getting gone on. He's going to do a lot of damage here.
Dying
The
Light,
level 2
killing
Fire
them.
Spirits fighting through Ducalis, and that Dying Light, as well as the Fire Spirit slow, makes it very difficult for Satanic to fight back. So a kill there as 9 Class returns
he's
from
going
his
for the
voyage
kill.
in the mid lane. I think 9 Class was trying to hit the pounce there.
Good try. Mid-air diving Phoenix is not an easy target.
Yeah, especially as a Slark. I have to assume when you don't have that many games on a support Slark, toss back. 9 Class to pounce already in 6 more seconds. He's still only level 2, as is Ducalis here, by the way. But
he's
even
gonna
still,
get
they
the
are able to
Phoenix,
zone
but
away the Phoenix.
Do they have damage to kill
Oh,
him?
yeah, the pounce connected. He's got Fire Spirits,
Okay,
but
they
they
do.
have the kill.
Somehow they had enough damage with the Blood Grenade plus the Chilling Touch there. Well, this,
Really nicely done.
this
Mid?
Phoenix is
No
definitely
way.
getting
No one?
punished.
He's going to have another Sleight of Fist in 4 seconds. There's a phase shift ready. Makoto, regen's enough there. He'll be just fine as Cuckoo will rotate away from the bottom lane. That'll relieve some pressure here for DM, who is 14-1. I mean, he's having a pretty awful lane, but he hasn't yet died. And his experience is not too bad either when you compare it to WS.
I mean, PARIVISION is a team that runs Phoenix offlane, right? So they are definitely going to know a thing or two about offlane Phoenix, how to punish him.
Yeah, trying to steal a page out of their book, trying to mess with the lanes. PARIVISION, they flip the table right back. And ball's in their court here. Again, so let's kind of, just break this down again. Natsumi is off to a flying start, however. Tread's already online. I'm eager to see what he queues up next on this carry Beastmaster. Eyes mid, though, as we
Power
fight
rune?
for the first power runes. It's going to be in the hands of Cuckoo, actually. Picks up the amplified damage rune. And he's a bit fast now with that afterburner buff. So he may just live yet. We have level 6 now on both mid laners, so Remnants and Coil both in play.
I mean, in terms of CS, both of the mid laners neck and neck. 35 and 5 for Ember and 36 and 4 for the Puck. So Puck is holding his own very well. Not easy to lane Puck
Oh,
into
9
the
Class.
Ember.
They see Cuckoo. Satanic. This is going to be a kill here in favor of them. Maybe he goes to the Ancients. He does not. Satanic secures the kill with the cleave.
Was he just trying to place a ward, I guess? Just trying to
I
sneak a
think
ward.
so. Just setting up Watcher vision and everything. Maybe scouting for stacks. In a way, he's going to end up dying. And that's level 6 for DM in this bottom lane. So I would say the Shrine Lane experiment has certainly worked here, right? WS, I mean, they might need to give him the Wisdom Shrine. It'll be Jokum who takes it. He's barely level 3 with the Shrine.
I mean,
Almost up to
Santos level 6.
4.
So he
That's what I'm
has
saying, yeah.
pretty good levels. Phoenix is struggle. He's good in struggle city. He's going to have a wave in front of his tower, but still nowhere near
That's
the
true.
Santos XP.
But Ember's
And
coming.
guess what? There is a gank incoming. They just want to destroy this Phoenix.
If they do, they're going to focus their efforts here. But Makoto, he will return to the top lane. Coil committed now as they try and get through onto Satanic, who still does not have the boat. Finally puts the skill point in it. There's going to be the Stampede helping him from the bottom lane. He's taking down to the Blood Grenade, the healing salve. Oh no, it's not good enough to
Tried to
save him.
tango. Oh.
He couldn't get enough rum down his gullet before he died to the Blood Grenade. Bit unlucky there. I've been there. No, I haven't. A quick
wouldn't
kill
know.
there.
So 8-minute power rune. About to spawn. The rune battle commences. So Ducalis picks it up now. Has a shield rune, so he's ready to fight.
That he is. This AA, he's so tanky. How can you kill him? Oh, his shield's already gone. And, well, how does our transition into the early game look now, Winter? You have 9 Class prowling the map. He's still only level 4. That's always going to be the downside of running a tri-lane, right? But given the fact that it's worked out, WS is still also now just hitting level 5.
Yeah, meanwhile,
but how
Nine
does
Class is casually blocking the camps in the mid lane. Comes over, places sentry, blocks the camps of the puck.
yeah? I don't know if he
Very
scouted the
annoying.
stack.
I mean, it's
And
something that I feel like I try to remember to do, but it's just something that I don't really do enough. I think small moves like this can be very
ooh.
detrimental towards the level progression
And
of the
check out
mid
this
heroes.
move. They interrupt the stack being farmed by Natsumi. He would have loved to have a little bit more private time here, but there's 4 heroes now. And Satanic, well, he will be able to claim the bulk of these as 9 class, also able to get a very swift D-ward. So another stinging loss here for Talon as these start to add up a bit more and more.
Kind of slowly losing control of the map. They need the puck to kind of participate. Okay, there's a coil mid. They're
Yep.
gonna try to lock him down.
3 heroes here. TP's incoming. There's going to be Stampede. No one. He's thinking about maybe going back in. He's left a remnant.
Yeah,
Just
I mean
TP
this is
home and refill.
yeah, this is like the thing about like this Ember, right? Outside the call, he's not really afraid of anything until you get the Beastmaster in play, right? Without the Raw, it's pretty difficult for them to kill an elusive hero like Ember Spirit.
He's unkillable, right? Right, Winter?
And not unkillable, okay, it's just difficult to kill.
No, I hear you. I'm
all the time.
trying to bait you.
Unkillable.
10-minute power rune spawns bottom. There'll be an illusion into the
No
bottle
one
for
says
no one. So
finally, after the first 2 runes spawning top, he's gonna get a taste
Yep.
of the rune.
we still have a haste, an arcane, and a regen left. And we've already got what the shield and what was the first one? Amplify damage are gone. There's still some pretty runes, some nice runes left in play. I mean, and this rune is very relevant versus the silence of Makoto, especially. As no one, he's going hunting behind the tower. Makoto now realizing his camps are blocked. It's like be really, really being a big thorn in the side of Talon Esports. Okay, illusion rune popped, I think, just for the regen now, as the wagon doing a little bit of chip damage mid, but good effort here by Makoto, who clears out the illusions to make sure that the tower stays defended.
Yep, and no one just dragging the wave away, so the tower takes as much damage as possible, but yeah, everyone is just back to trying to just get as much as possible out of the map. DM has a blade mill done.
Instantly,
Yeah,
and
DM
it's
has a blade mill
immediately
done,
stolen.
so he wants to come and clear some stacks, and he's building into the pipe, which is, like I said, going to be a very good pipe game, against what Talon has. All that
That's
magic
right.
damage.
This is a pretty cool ward spot. Do you see this ward spot next to the camp that DM just farmed here? Have you been seeing this one a lot?
This is nice.
Okay,
Gives you a lot of vision, solid information about who's rotating towards the bottom river.
sure. Yeah. Both
Pretty
teams have it
difficult to
warded at the
deward
moment.
as well. Not easy.
Yeah, you can see the sentry on the cliff doesn't catch it, so that's going to be alive here just for a while longer. Good placement there. Elsewhere on the map, how are items and everything else coming along here? This 9 class is just, he's a menace, man. Just dewarding, taking down watchers, just sitting in the triangle, interrupting your stacks.
And it's daytime, he's doing all this during daytime. Just wait till he gets into nighttime.
Yeah, he's going to
Then
be
he can
so much
abuse
more
his night
annoying.
vision.
This is looking pretty good for him here. WS, he's up to level 7. His net worth is, I mean, he's still struggling. He's not that far behind no one, actually, which is a little shocking to me. So he must have gotten some recovery farm in somewhere, especially considering how poor his lane started.
Yeah, I agree. I think Phoenix is not exactly in a terrible spot, given how the game started.
He's got his levels, building up for presumably just this first item, Shiva's Guard. As far as like other heroes he's going to fight with, Puck building the first item into Witchblade, so it'll be no Orchid shenanigans for either of these heroes, as no one goes into the Mage Slayer himself.
His Slug is the one building an Orchid. He's queuing an Orchid.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really good.
It's a
into
bit of
the
a tricky
Phoenix
item.
And the Puck, if you can
It's
get
true. Yeah, that's really true. Awkward item as well into the Tiny if he's trying to find like some sort of toss initiation. It's a nice item this game.
Yeah, as long as you get it in a decent time, I think Orchid is going to be, in most games, pretty useful. Stats is nice. You get some regen, health, and mana. It's like the Rod of Athos, right? As a position 4, you need an item that allows you to set up for kills. Nice toss back, kill cam.
It's going.
Caught him during the lead.
Yep. Interrupting the TP in from no one. Has a remnant back, I presume, in the mid lane, where the creeps are pushing that tier 1 tower. No one back home to defend it because they're defending the stack. Natsumi farming a big stack. Cuckoo throwing in a few flat cannons here to help, but I think he's afraid of stealing any of it. But that's the drums of Salam completed. Natsumi straight into the BKB following that. They are gearing up for some fights.
Not even a dagger, yeah, just straight BKB. Just wants to run in and stand in the middle of the fight.
Arcane Rune will spawn in down bottom. 9 class scouting that out and heading into the enemy jungle to see if there's any vision here. Sentry at the ready.
Yeah, he's being very annoying, you know, just doing like bounty hunter Ricky things on Slug.
Well,
Scouting is giving his team information here and there. He's actually also creating a lot of pressure, right? Because if you're Talon, you see like a Slug walking around, you thinking that, oh, he might not be alone, you know, there might be someone coming in to gank us, be careful.
Right.
And then you,
or hey,
you kind of play
is warding.
Yeah, you kind of play more defensively, and you're gonna lose a little bit more efficiency in terms of your farming pattern.
Here we go. No one activates that Arcane Rune. Ice Blast is incoming. This is going to be a quick kill here on the Cuckoo. Let's loose the ultimate, but isn't going to change much. They have missed on the ward, though. Oh, very nice preemptive Shadow Realm. I don't know. Sorry, Shadow Dance. I don't think it's going to save 9 class here. They have still a bit too much damage.
I mean, he kind of did his job already, I think, overall. He forced them to rotate. He got a kill, at least. That's going to create a lot of space for the rest of the teammates to farm. And now Talon just wants to smoke in. Kick the invaders out of their house. This is our house. Get out.
No one in a bit of an awkward position here. He has one last remnant to play with as WS leaps in. There's going to be the Stampede committed. Crash Landing doesn't actually find the Ember here as they commit the coil, and now the roar. Supernova behind. No one's got to leave the DM for dead. As PARIVISION still with their cores in the area, thinking maybe if there's an opportunity to reinitiate here. Satanic. Yeah, he's got a full Radiance. He has boats. Thinking about maybe finding an opportunity now. No one going back on in. He only has 1 remnant to play with, though, and a bit shy on mana. So it becomes difficult for PARIVISION to find the opportunity to leap in, especially as 9 class discovers that there was a ward here all along.
I mean, the hunt still continues, you know, it's nighttime. You want to be very, very aggressive with the Slug and the Ice Blast.
There it is. Cuckoo again. He avoids the Ice Blast.
He didn't land the Ice Blast, okay.
WS no longer has a Supernova here to play with, but it's only 2 supports here. That is up until no one shows his face. Okay, 9 class able to get around the side again. He doesn't have another pounce for a few more seconds, but it's the torrent from Satanic that finds the kill. Jokum, he might be able to escape here thanks to the haste rune as he has that river movement speed. X mark into boat perfectly connects, and he melts to all that magic damage. Bonus armor or not from the grow. It's a double kill for Satanic.
Yeah, that's the power of the AA with the Ember Spirit, AA with the Conquer, plus the Radiance damage, the Vortex.
Oh, true.
Amplifying so much, you know. Yeah, I wonder if Talon, they're going to consider a pipe of their own, you know. Because if they don't have a pipe, that's overwhelming magic damage from AA.
But who's going to build it?
The Phoenix, you know, if you want to get it on Phoenix. But he's already, like you already mentioned, he's building a Shivas, so if he gets it, he's going to get it very late, you know.
Yeah,
so
that's the problem I see, right?
You're going to play like a game where you're going to have to wait for BKBs to fully commit into fights, you know, because if you think about how the fights are going to look like, without BKBs, your cores, your front lines are just going to die, especially the Beast. Ice Blast with some chains and bolt combo and you're just gone, you know, if you don't have a pipe.
So Natsumi did stop for a blink in between, by the way. He now has that active alongside the Acceptor, but now he's going to go into the BKB. As you say, basically a required item for him to fight. But I like the blink because it's going to allow him to play a little bit more pick-off style with his puck, right?
And you can get a lot more opportunities to punish the opponents, right, when they're splitting the map, you know. Because eventually with the puck and the Phoenix, you're pushing all the side lanes, you're creating a lot of pressure on the map for them to go back and handle. And with the Dagger and the Beast, you're going to find openings.
Careful here. They're baiting Cuckoo. Gets caught by the chains. And let's see here with the call down. He is going to slow his pursuers. PARIVISION, they'll give up the chase.
That was so weird. They were so scared, you know. They didn't want to commit onto the gyro. They didn't see anyone on the map. So they just decided to back off.
Well, because they know this tiny blink has got to be coming soon. Jokum, he's just now one creep away from it. Gets it here with the Avatos on the wave, and Blink Dagger is completed. Another tool in the arsenal here for Talon to be able to fight back, as they have kept the net worth lead relatively even, just under 18 minutes. Nightclass is diving this tower. It looks like he's his own tower, and he's for good cause. He's got this Orchid. Dual Scepter is a defensive one out from the puck, but the stun timing is perfect from DM. Nice job there, PARIVISION, picking up the kill on the Orchid reveal.
Yeah, Nine Class just being so annoying, giving his team so much information that allowed them to start and find the puck, at the end of the day. Talon came in with a smoke, but a little too late to save Mikoto on the puck there. So again, PARIVISION one step ahead, and they're going to try to capitalize this kill on the puck into a Tormentor, bringing the whole team here. With a pipe, you have a Centaur to tank things up. Should be pretty easy. Who is going to get it? A wants to get it. Pray to Lord Gaben. Okay,
this is not bad though.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's actually not bad. In most cases, I would argue A would want to have it over his position 4, but with a slug as a 4,
sure,
I wouldn't mind. And now they go for the classic
here's the trade.
But are they gonna be in time? PARIVISION, they're moving in quickly with the slug, leading the charge with the night vision.
Yeah, he'll get in the vicinity. Ice Blast incoming. Does reveal LaRoche is low as they nuke the boar. Okay, there's going to be the jump. They're going to try and get through the Slark on the Blink Dagger reveal from Jokum, and they have the kill through the Shadow Dance.
Good catch. Wait, how did they get vision on him all of a sudden?
Careful here, Roshan. Very low on his HP as DM just walking in, pops the blade mail and the pipe. He's a little bit too untouchable at the moment. Jokum looking for another toss back, has to settle there on the Centaur Stampede. Out comes the Supernova though, Satanic. He's gonna get yeeted by Roche mid-fight.
Oh no, he's on the cleave.
Roche, he's on 200 HP. Eyes on the prize now. BKB expired as WS snatches the Aegis on the Icarus dive flyby.
Wow.
Makoto dropping the coil here as Talon.
They
have
so
lost
unlucky.
Natsumi. The fight, it's gone lopsided, but they still come out claiming the Aegis. Is Makoto still alive? Jokum offering a nice avalanche from the side will put a pause on this pursuit. What a team fight. That was so chaotic. Hold on, Ice Blast. They're trying to maybe snipe Makoto. It's not going to hit. That was crazy. Replay, please, production. That was insane.
Yeah, Roshan just wanted to be a part of that team fight. Yeah, just tossing the Conquer up the cliff there. So unlucky. I think it's about time to happen. Turns daytime. Roche walks out. Just toss one hero, tosses the Conquer next. Roshan is just like desperately trying to be a part of the fight.
Oh, goodness. And the entire time, the Supernova burning them down. Double kill there for no one. And check out this Icarus time. Oh,
yeah, perfect
timing from WS. That was sick.
Yeah, very, very sick. Not easy to hit, but he is in fact queuing a pipe next, after the Shiva. So he's going to give his team that much needed magic resistance and the barrier. Yeah, but what a fight, It's going to keep the game in check, sort of. PARIVISION still has a 5k lead, but Talon somehow stemmed the bleeding a little bit. This is going to give them still a chance, It's not that big of a lead at 22 minutes.
Yeah, certainly.
With the Aegis,
again, it's a fight before Natsumi's BKB, right? We could really see how much that's lacking, right? At least some sort of magic resist, some sort of barrier here as PARIVISION smoked up mid. The leap forward by 9 class. My goodness, the stones on this guy. Is similar to what Tiny's rocking. Careful there. Yeah, WS caught. And that's going to be the death of him here on that Orchid. That's Aegis only, though. Talon, can they kind of reset around this? The second pounce is going to connect. WS, he doesn't have a defensive item past the Shiva's guard as he's lifted up by the Torrent. Gets to hold on there to the Supernova. Toss back in from Jokum now as he will become the target of PARIVISION's aggression. Another Orchid onto WS as the Stampede signals the go-ahead here for PARIVISION. They need to get a hold of WS, but they don't have enough lockdown for him. Icarus dive away, puts this potentially in play here for Talon Esports. Supernova is forced now. There's going to be the Puck's coil on the side, but not good enough for any kills. And Makoto in the middle of the Croaker camp. Uh-oh, that's the wrong side of the fight. He will be taken down.
Yeah, PARIVISION did the poke and prodding very, very well. Didn't really fully commit, just poking from afar with the Axe Mark, with the Ice Vortex, with the Slide Chains, and forcing Talon to react to that. And Talon in them, they kind of felt like they had to use the Supernova, otherwise the Phoenix might die. And that's when everything just covering down for them, And Joakim also committed too much, for the tossback on the slug and just getting himself killed, I think a little bit impatient from the Talon's perspective. But from
I agree.
PARIVISION, very well played, using the
No,
vision and using the poke from far range.
absolutely. I mean, Natsumi is so close to his BKB at this point, it just feels like a mistake to kind of force any sort of engagement there. Uh-oh. Yeah, WS, that's going to be their offlaner taking another death.
This PARIVISION squad, the last couple of minutes have been a joy to watch. The way they moved around the map, the way they use the vision with the slug, to pressure the enemy. And now they're still not done. They're still moving towards the top side. They're sweeping the map. They're chasing them out of the map, forcing them back towards their base, just making sure that they're losing a lot of farm on the map. It's doing a really good job on the PARIVISION side. Talon, they have to pick a right time. You already mentioned the BKB is coming, so
that has to be it.
Once
I think
you get the BKB, yeah, on Natsumi, you are definitely going to have to, stamp your ground on the map. You can't just let PARIVISION push you around the map wherever they go.
Agreed. TP's now looking bottom here for PARIVISION, as they will try and find something down here. 9 class once again leading the way. 4 stacks a permanent edgy, by the way, on this support Slark. Not a terrible performance here, honestly.
Yeah, all you need is a slug, silencer, support duo, and you have infinite scaling.
You have infinite scaling, and you have infinitely many griefed pubs.
Wait.
Come on, Estini.
On.
Let it loose. Let it loose. You don't need these games
find
anymore.
the Iceman.
Uh-oh. That's going to be quite the catch as Talon... It was a smoke for them, so it doesn't feel as amazing, but they didn't have to commit much. PARIVISION still willing to take this fight 4 versus 5, seemingly, as the looking for the stun onto Fufu. Boat incoming as they get Satanic before you get the BKB off. 9 class toss back in, but it's WS who once again is focused and killed off. PARIVISION. Their focus in the fights has been unmatched, as it's going to be Jokum next to die. No one with a double kill in the fights. PARIVISION
insane.
Unmatched 4 versus 5. They're still taking these fights.
Yeah, very, very good coordination, and the team fight is going on key targets, especially the Phoenix. Once you get the Phoenix, I think the fight is just so easy, for PARIVISION. Kunkka kind of took the brunt of the initiation from Talon. They roared him before he was able to pop BKB, but just didn't really get enough damage. The Phoenix couldn't really commit because he was like cut off behind. And they couldn't really kill the Kunkka, and then the fight just became really easy. Once you committed your raw and you don't get a kill, it's just gonna be difficult after that.
And here's such a big problem is that WS, like, one silence and he dies. Like, 9 class just comes running in from behind, and he's dead in the duration of the Orchid. He doesn't have a single defensive item, right? Or a single dispel, I should say.
Oh, he's gonna have a Glimmer. Glimmer's
it's not gonna save him, though, I reckon.
Yeah, he might actually still die, with the Glimmer.
I think this is a game where as soon as you see that first Orchid, he just has to go Yules or something, I don't see any other way. I don't know what else he could do.
I think he was kind of banking that the game would have gone a little bit better. Then he would have
that's fair.
Time to finish his Shivas plus Pipe, because they are very good items this game, If you get Shivas and Pipe.
That's fair. I hear you on that.
But it looks really bad now because they've been losing the last couple of fights.
Look, I mean, and you've got a point there, right? But I would argue this game never really looked that good for WS either. Like, out literally from the start, right?
Yeah, that is true as well. You got tri-laned. Okay, dude.
Yeah, you got tri-laned. And, like, again, fair play to PARIVISION, right? For kind of recognizing a weakness there and exploiting it. But I feel like maybe you have to take that into account when you consider your builds. I don't know. Maybe you can't go full Shivas. You can only afford the sorry, I'm blanking on the intermediate item there.
Yeah. Bot lane.
9 class.
Big fight.
Yeah, big fight down bottom, and they also catch the Phoenix up top. Just 9 class canceling a TP here casually as the siege is on down bottom. Oh, and DM, he's left a remnant. He is going to come hunting up here. 9 class, once again, no way he cancels the second TP. The Searing Chains, Makoto! Okay, he's got a Dispel here. He's going to be very difficult to catch.
He's going to be stuck
here with a blink.
They're losing
their
base.
Fight, yeah, they're losing the base. He cancels a second TP.
This Slug has got to be the MVP of this game, man. 9
And
class.
9 class,
just
he's
putting
still
up a
hunting
fight.
here. A
He's
silence
gonna find
again?
it.
No.
Rimmer, he gets the kill. And he gets the D ward. My man, 9 class, showing a lot of class on this slug here. Really one of his signature heroes.
6 permanent agi. I mean, the only bright side for Talon there is they didn't lose the high ground. They didn't lose the base, but it didn't go very good for them either here.
Nope, it did not, Richie.
What an outplay, honestly, right now that by PARIVISION.
Yeah,
9
these
class
are
and
things not every position 4 player can do. I kid you not. What he is doing in this game is very, very difficult, and it's something that has very, very high impact in terms of like vision control and creating a lot of pressure, forcing your opponents to group up together, losing a lot of farm. It's not something that you can correlate in numbers, you know, when you're talking about his impact.
Yeah, I hear you there. Oh, WS, I mean, look, he's got the Glimmer completed now. He's going to go next into the Shard to try and have a little bit more impact. I think basically he can only play the outside of the fights, and
Yeah,
I really
he
mean
is
the outside of the fight.
Kind of praying that the Orchid doesn't kill him at this point, you know. It's like he doesn't really have much of a choice. They are behind, so he can't really get all the items that he wants yet.
And that's just the reality of his game, so, you know, props to him for kind of recognizing that. In reality, PARIVISION, that is still one big weakness of theirs, right, in this game. They don't really focus in Egg very well. None of their heroes do.
You have
That
3
being said,
melee
they've
cores,
made
you
it-
know, so that's going to always be a problem
Well,
for you.
yeah. They've made it difficult, I will say, PARIVISION, for WS to find any good eggs because of 9 classes Orchid. So, you know, they've managed it quite well, you know, given their draft, but it's still very much a reality here of this game.
Yeah, Talon just needs to try and hang on as long as they can. Every small little item they can get
Uh-oh,
is gonna
WS.
help.
Uh-oh. The Jaws theme song playing. He's rooted in place. Ice Blast incoming. I mean, there's just no way he can use Supernova. Oh, no, he used the Supernova. Oh, no, no
he's
one's going to
die,
BKB
right?
for that.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, no. No, that's going to be on cooldown. He doesn't have buyback. Dead for 40. He want to have Supernova for another minute after 9 class giving chase. Ooh, I don't know if he saw someone go through the gate or not, but Makoto's going to get out alive this time.
Yeah, what a cleaning, you know, by PARIVISION. Just dominating the game from start to minute 30. Splitting up a clinic. Talon really is running out of resources.
What?
X-Mark on the
Look at them.
base.
They're just going in the base. Natsumi, he's not going to BKB for that, surely. The second Veil of Discord is completed on him with WS down.
Satanic.
Quick D-wards.
With the Satanic, you know, Satanic, SNY Radiance, BKB Kanka.
Yep, just casual hard carry Kunkka thing. 7-1 and 7, 22k net worth lead. 30 minutes into the game. And there's just not much they can do. WS, he'll poke.
Toss back.
Nice toss back. That's
Good
going to
work.
be a good start, but Satanic will lose that first life. Another toss here in 6 more seconds. He'll have a BKB and, of course, that Satanic to play with here on the second life, as you can see how terrifying it is to play into him. No one did a good job keeping them rooted from behind, as that's going to be a coil. Only actually catching Satanic, though. 9 class leaping out of the base. The boat giving Satanic the run buff, but another toss back up from Jokum. Are they prepared now on the second life? The second jump in from DM, but the Avalanche, and now the silence to interrupt him. It's not a bad start to this fight, but Jokum, he's going to be left behind, and thanks to the Crimson Pipe that, I mean, DM and the rest of PARIVISION, they're so healthy that no one, he just goes back in on the base. Okay, good Yule Scepter avoids the silence and the X mark out from Makoto. That tier 3 tower having gone down, exposed the barracks, PARIVISION getting to work. They don't siege particularly quickly here, especially through backdoor. Eventually that structure will go down. And again, we need to keep our eyes on WS to see if we can find a game-changing Supernova. It's back off cooldown. Cuckoo, he's going to eat a stun. A Glimmer Cape, courtesy of WS, keeps him alive here for now. Is Natsumi, fails to get the roar onto the hero he wanted. Does find one eventually, but the silence of the WS prevents a Supernova follow-up again. 9 class, he's been untouchable on the Shadow Dances. WS trying to burn him out of the base. He's going to get caught. Ice Blast is incoming. Do they have vision? Do they have another silence on the WS? He's still alive for now. Icarus dive and Supernova's going to be forced, but all the heroes trying to focus it down. DM with the BKB leads the charge in, and they destroy that egg. A triple kill for Satanic as they have demolished Talon in game 1 of this series. The tri-lane, it's back, Winter.
Yeah, it is definitely back when your opponent draws a very greedy offlaner. I think it's a good heads-up play there by whoever came up with the idea. Astini, the players, props to them. And every time you have like a Viper, Phoenix, Razor offlaner, range hero, which is very vulnerable at level 1, and you don't really want to let them get their levels and farm because they are very farm dependent. And the fact that they planned it from the get-go, so the Slug went all the way aboard to place that sentry, just shows that they are just a class above Talon, just in terms of strategy and planning, for the game.
They need wins, and they need them now. PARIVISION in a bit of a different situation, as Cuckoo says, Meepo player?
Yeah, we have a lot of Meepo players in SCA, so we know a thing or two about Meepos.
That's true. Use gold, right? I don't know. I have 500 games if you're asking me. Need level 30.
It's always nice,
500 games,
to
really?
see the back and forth, The friendly back and forths, if you will.
Let's see if you need to report blue. It's how you normally draft. Wait. It's how you draft usually for WS? Draft for himself. Oh, yeah, right. They're asking about how WS plays. No one's like, yeah, we picked Meepo. Is this a serious pick for your offlaner as well? Famous Russian humor.
Oh, here comes the backstab, Richie. Hello, Natsumi. Oh, he took Blink, level 1.
Oh, he
But
did,
still dies?
Natsumi. Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble. Laser onto him. The Tinker auto attacks does miss uphill, or because of the evasion. We'll never know. Either way, Natsumi able to evade death here. Will have to probably run home and TP. Maybe he'll miss a few creeps here, but otherwise avoids first blood.
Yeah, that is a pretty good, I think, start, for them. For PARIVISION. I mean, forcing the PA to get Blink at level 1, even though he didn't die. That is already, I think, a victory. I call that a win in my book. That's going to disrupt his lane quite a bit. And I also like your enthusiasm about figuring out where did the miss come from, the high ground or the evasion.
Yeah, 20% at level 1, right? Where will it be? What was the source? That's truly going to be a mystery.
Do you think
for the ages.
The miss should be a different color coded when it comes from a different
No,
source?
I don't. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's really that relevant. Maybe. I just feel like at that point it'll become like a little information overload. You missed from laser, You must top up your Dota Plus subscription. Danger, danger. The camps are stacking. It's like, come on. We cannot. We don't need all that entire information.
Yeah, but you said it yourself, the more the better,
Sometimes.
We need to get a clearer picture of the game.
I think it's yeah, look, I hear what you're saying. I don't think we need to go back to the days where we didn't have the stun bar. I remember how vehemently that was opposed for a while, but I'm more of a fan of it now. But, again, Natsumi, despite almost dying first, he's done very well in his first few waves, such as the strength of this hero now in the lane. So, I wouldn't really call it a recovery because it's not like he was that far down, but, a tough start here that he shrugs off. Well done. It's going to be a tough start as well for Makoto mid, I reckon. I think I've seen, a few monkeys just walk under towers and get kills very early on this tournament.
I think especially you have to know when to use the mischief to tank the remnant, the static slide. I think if you can do that as a monkey.
Look at Satanic. Sorry to cut you off. He's already sent a Meepo through the gate.
No. Don't you worry about that. Just gotta buy me some chicken rice tomorrow.
Just doing a bit of a grocery shopping, a bit of sightseeing. He only needs the one Meepo down here for now.
He seems like he's going to get a kill here. Body blocking from 9 class. Cuckoo, don't run away! You think I can't play Meepo?
Look at the micro, man. He's still down bottom getting last
I
hits,
can't
by the
tell
way.
who has the better
Simultaneous.
micro, the Tinker with the body block or the Meepo.
Definitely the Meepo, because Satanic was securing
No,
last
bro.
hits. He's moving the
did he do
Meepo
there?
to
He was
get
just like A
Lotus.
clicking him. Come on, he was A clicking him, and
Oh
Tinker
my
was doing all the
God.
hard work.
All right, well, very well. I'll give that to you then. But a strong
Oh,
start
don't
here.
give it to me.
as-
Give it to 9 class.
Wait, hold on. Talon are basically getting tri-laned 2 games in a row? Okay, no, Satan, he's bringing back the Meepo. Okay.
Yeah, now that you say that. Is this how Dota is meant to be played? 3-1-1?
I think so. I'm all for it.
How about the jungling heroes? What about that? I mean, PARIVISION is always trying to break the game, right? With their jungling Veno, with a 3-1-1 lane setup.
Dude, these Earth Vines, perfect. And WS is not going to be able to get a skewer under tower. No, I agree. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the jungles, of trying to break them out. Again, the flexibility, what you can do in Dota, like the big sandbox in this MOBA that we've been given.
Yeah,
Is,
I think this is why they really like. I'm sure as a team they really like the change to the Dota TV thing, like where you can't watch the game if you don't have a friend list for the games at higher range MMR, so you don't get an idea of who's training what heroes. So you don't have to play on Smurf and everything. So it's easier to come up with newer ideas and fresher ideas,
agreed.
which is really
Yeah,
good for
agreed.
I think competitive play.
Yeah, I think Astini was overall like a fan of this change. I know he landed in some hot water, coach of PARIVISION, of course. Well, speaking of hot water, Talon, they might be in for a little bit more hot water. But they've got a ward actually already set up at the Twin Gate top. So they've scouted Satanic's Meepo coming through the gate as he A-clicks creeps underneath his tower bottom. This is impressive. This is probably the only time I've been curious what the APM is for a Dota player. As they will try and
Usually
punish
no
this.
more than 120.
Satanic. He's hiding in these trees. Okay, now he's been scouted as nighttime falls, so the vision no longer favoring Talon here, and I think that'll help him escape.
Jakiro is here too. He's gonna get found.
That he is. Also trying to sneak through the gate. DM throws a stun. There are 4 heroes top, and Satanic, he's got proof to bring over Meepo Prime. All of a sudden, Talon, they found themselves outnumbered despite scouting this rotation early. They will end up losing both supports as Jokum trying to live. All the regen here is actually getting them out pretty far, but DM, second Wraithfire Blast to secure the kill. Satanic,
tower's
he had
gonna
Earth Vines
take-
to spare.
The tower's gonna take a lot of damage here. Just perfect timing with the rotation, with the siege creep, and with the skeletons. It is going to take a lot of beating from these creeps and the siege. And meanwhile, PA, Natsumi in trouble.
Yeah,
Once
they're
again,
also
needing to
making a
break
play
out.
mid lane, by the way. Makoto, without level 6, he's just going to die. And Natsumi up top lane, he's being dove also by 3 heroes. Dies under his tier 2
no.
tower.
They're getting ran over by PARIVISION now, and no one. I mean, this is the type of hero when you're getting a start like this, you can absolutely destroy every single lane with your rotations.
Just ask Cuckoo, he dies again there under the tower for free. No one. What a start here for PARIVISION. Up 3K already. Minutes, not even 7 minutes in. 9 class, he cancels the TP. He realizes, another
And guess
kill
what?
has
Satanic's
presented
mid
itself.
again. He's everywhere.
There they go. Yeah, he's back here. Pretty nice ice shards. A good effort here. Jokum, he'll make it difficult. He'll make him work for it, but he dies all the same. It is 7 unanswered kills here in favor of PARIVISION as they got the top tower Winter with the first wagon. They might get the mid tower with this first wagon.
And this is just going to be a very quick one, you know, at this rate. And
Look at him!
Satanic
Look
gets
at him!
another
Look,
catch
he
here.
gets another Earthbind. Makoto stunned up as no one. He's going to go in looking for this kill. This is good damage though on a Satanic as perhaps they've gone
Okay,
too far.
they
No one.
punish him at
He might
least.
be in a bit too deep here. Does have that Jingu Mastery. Ice Path buys him a few more seconds as he's life stealing off of these supports. Eventually he falls though. Makoto lands the killing blow. Still only level 5 on that Storm though. STM
Skeletons,
joins the
they're
fight.
killing him.
Oh my
They
god.
are the Bone
Run.
Guard. Cuckoo, no.
Man, this skeletons at this early stage, it hurts a lot, you know.
I don't think I have ever seen. What was that? 8 heroes in the mid-tier 2 tower 7 minutes into the game?
Nope.
That's
And that
madness.
is definitely not a common occurrence, Richie. Just like good Mexican food in Malaysia. Not a
That's
common occurrence.
very true. Very true. Sadly, very true.
Yeah,
But
meanwhile, no one claims the tower. So he's rewarded for his lane dominance. 4k net worth at 8 minutes comparing to the 2.7k of the Storm. I mean, I don't know how much of that is the meeple or just Talon really
no. Oh,
just not really playing well, you know.
I almost bursted him there with the amplified damage rune. Fortunately, Ducala's just a bit slow on the ice path to follow up
I mean,
and secure that
Ducalis is
kill.
level 6 for God's sake.
Yeah. Yeah. That's still a 4K net worth lead as well. I mean, okay, so WS had the best start on his team out of the lane, right? I mean, let's see how he can convert here. He is saving up for potentially a Blink Dagger as no one. Okay, I think they both maybe realize that they have vision on the exact same cliff ward now. Oh, that's not going to stop Natsumi from getting dope. He's still only on level 5. Mikoto up to level 6, going in now onto no one. The ice path, the stuns. I mean, DM's here as well with the bone guard as no one. Juan charge sees him fully back to maximum HP. Talon now eager to disengage as this fight, once again, they find themselves ill-equipped to take.
Yeah, here comes Monkey. He's not done. He's looking for the silencer again. And just being an absolute madness on the map, you know, this Monkey King moving around and you have like global support from the Meeple and the Tinker later. And also you have the Skeletons pushing the side lanes and just constantly forcing them back to the defend and splitting them up. It's going to be very tough, you know. I feel like the pressure is going to be... Yeah, the pressure is going to be very, very difficult to deal with the Skeletons plus the Tinker with the, you know, the global presence. It's
I think
making
in a
me
way,
want to play some offlane Wraith King, and I think offlane Wraith King is going to be a thing, a very common occurrence now. The Skeleton is way too strong, you know.
I don't know if the build will always be Radiant's first item on offlane Wraith King. I think this is going to be, you know, a game maybe not to model your first few games off of.
If I don't go Radiance, what do I do? What, Blade Mail, Dessel? Is that what you do?
Blade Mail, Dessel. So you basically do just want to play it as a carry, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you just play it as a carry.
Okay.
I mean, offlane is just a carry.
I guess I was thinking like Blink +1 item, but then it's a natural question like, well, then what do you do? Like, besides just be a blinking stun?
You have to use the Midas that you are given, you know, the Bone Guard. Bone Guard is basically a free Midas for you. A better Midas, you know.
Smoke move here as it's Shokum stunned from the trees. Gets the snowball off and the walrus punch before he's caught by the ice path. Shokum dies under that tier 1 tower.
Yeah, not just dying under the tower, they'll lose the tower as well. This Monkey has been everywhere with the Meeple and the Tinker. I mean, what is Talon supposed to do here? So they've gotten the dagger, right? Dagger is coming for the Magnus. Okay, this is going to be their ticket back into the game. Slowly get themselves with the skewer back.
Global.
Meanwhile, global.
It's for Makoto, it's for no one. Can they actually secure the kill? Snowball into the stun. Indeed, Ukuku will die, but not before he gets his +1 brain drain. Satanic is giving chase, though. Doesn't quite have the kill. Yeah, that's that Wukong's faithful facet coming in handy for the kill beyond the grave. Winter, can you not play a Wraith King offlane a little bit like how Enigma plays with the Eidolons, you know? Like drums, kind of into that style more?
I mean, you could try. I mean, you could always try. But whether you win the game is going to be an entirely different story.
Yeah. Okay, Ducalis does pick up the haste rune, so he's able to outrun the snowball here. That's going to be trouble now for Jokum. There's no one. He will return from his brief slumber in the fountain and allows Ducalis to finalize the kill there. He goes no further, though. No one realizing that 2 deaths is more than enough for him this game. Doesn't want to give too much of a opening for Talon to regain a footing.
Yeah, and also Natsumi, because of the Empower, he's skipping Battle Fury, going for the more I think early game centric build. Vlad's into Deso. A blast from the past, you know. This is a pretty old build. When you had Magnus, you would always try to do it so you come on lane faster. But the thing with this is like the Magnus is not a support, right? He's a core. So sometimes it's hard to rely on him to follow you around to buff you all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
That's definitely going to come at a price of the Magnus's own farm, you know, if he has to do that.
No, I see what you mean. Yeah, I guess so. Like,
It's a common discussion, I think, that at least for my time, you know, when we have this PA Magnus, I always feel like the PA should still get his own battle fury, unless the Magnus is a support where he
Right.
can just follow you around.
and then you can have the benefit of double cleave, right? Basically, if it's relevant, which is still
because it's
you know,
just
pretty
not
decent.
efficient if the core Magnus has to follow you around to buff you so you can farm.
Do you think that was also a limitation back then of like not having so many other items to scale into and stuff like that? Because now you have like backpack and stuff. Back then it was like, are you really going to use one of your 6 slots for Battle Fury this game? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it was also the fact that Dota was very different back then. You know, the way
Yeah.
the players thought of the way the meta is, it's completely different. You know,
Yeah,
nowadays,
we've developed a lot
said,
since then.
yeah, bigger map,
Oh,
a lot more
hold
farm.
on, Cuckoo. That's a very dangerous tree he's walked into.
In the middle
Yes.
of the ring.
Yeah.
How is that
No
fair,
one.
Richie? A silencer in the middle of the ring, one-on-one with the monkey?
Yeah. Gotta know your trees, you know? He had to know that that tree was an imposter. It vented.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point, because when you change the map, I think players they're going to naturally take a lot more time to get used to the tree placements and everything. So you don't
Yeah.
really catch a Monkey King pretending to be a tree that easily. You know?
he unfortunately it was not Cuckoo's fault. I'll say the line. It wasn't Cuckoo's fault. He just walked up the stairs and Monkey King was waiting there for him. Talon. They will smoke
So
up
then
now.
whose fault is it? If he
Blink
walked up the
RP.
cliff, then whose fault is it, Richie?
That's true. That's true. Did no one make Cuckoo walk up the cliff? I didn't think so.
Yep, we will never know.
Okay, hold on. They're going to try and interrupt the Tormentor timing. This could be powerful, but with the Meepos here to soak off all the damage as well as the Tinker heals, yeah, they are still in fighting shape now. Jokum, he's still going to end up running on them, but it's Ducalis from behind who actually finds a nice stun, and they might be able to burst the Magnus, gets off the RP with the Global to follow up. They get the kill first onto Ducalis, but everyone else is still too healthy as no one leads them into the trees now. Jokum, he dies again to DM as the Radiance reveal. It's too good. No one a swing and a miss there on the Boundless Strike. That'll allow Cuckoo to live. And the rest of the Talon core is still able to escape, but they go looking for a fight and find themselves far too late to contest. I mean, Winter, it's still they're still facing down an 11k in that word lead at this point.
At 16 minutes, that is a huge mountain to climb. And Roche is going to be up the cards next, you know, for PARIVISION. So who actually got the shard?
Good question.
Oh, it was Ducalis. Now he has the million damage, Twin Terror,
Yeah,
Liquid Fire, and Liquid Frost combination.
very true, actually. Yeah, very true. We'll take a look at that replay of the fight as PARIVISION secure the next objective, which is Roche. Feels really bad for Talon here, actually, because, of course, with the PA and a Tusk, you almost kind of, you know, expect to take that as a trade.
They're just like, and the thing is, they're just like way weaker right now, you know, against heroes and overall composition, you know. And
no, I hear you there, and Jokum unfortunately trying to go for a cheeky steal. He will be punished for that. Snowball, it's not a bad time-wasting strategy, actually, but I think DM, or no one, will pick up another kill here onto him. No one's 7th kill of the game as Satanic slowly but surely is going to get through this Roshan. And immediate TP's down bottom where no one sets a trap now looking for WS, who has Blink, not able to use it though. Stun from the trees, a follow-up out from DM is thrown, and even 9 Clash joining to secure the kill. Wow.
And this is just getting really ugly right now. I mean, even the Tinker has Mac, Holy Locket, and Grease completed soon, you know, so the global silence is not going to bother him as much. And once all those tools to deal with the global silence is there, it's going to be very difficult, almost near impossible for Talon to actually take a team fight, you know.
Kugu being chased down. At least he will die instead of Makoto. Oh goodness, the Tinker TPing in. Satanic closing the door here. Makoto looking for a way back in there. Pausing as WS does connect on the RP. That's not half bad. They've caught the Meepos here. Can they actually take him down? And well, it's actually 9 class to go down first. Satanic still fighting through this one. And look at him go. Oh my goodness. Even with now the Wukong's command down, but they finally catch him there on the stuns. And it turns into a full team wipe. The ice path into the Wukong's command. Satanic conserves the Aegis as well. Oh no.
Yeah, that was a very unfortunate snowball save. He snowballed both of them into the ice path, just resulting in both of them dying. Yeah, but that was just another disaster of a fight for Talon, you know. It looked like they had like a small little opening there to get off to a good start, you know, good RP into a skewer. But they just didn't have enough damage to kill them fast enough, you know, because they are so far behind, you know, 15k behind.
Yeah, and you're right, there's that snowball save that puts him right into the ice path, a little bit of that Macropire on top, and Satanic comes out of that with a triple kill. It's the second tier 2 tower already gone.
That was the most unpleasant exit from a snowball that I've seen so far.
Yeah, that's like having a snowball fight when you're little, except, you know, some punks are putting ice in it. It's a lot harder here. Makoto, okay, he's gonna be fine. No one realizing that he's literally right outside of the base.
Yeah, both the supports on PARIVISION are eclipsing the enemy offlaner in terms of network. That's how bad the state of the game is.
Yeah, and it's not going to slow down here as Jokum, he's going to get caught. It punches one of the Meepos, but there's 2 of them back on Earth that will beat him to a pulp. And just the pressure, it never lets up here. Look at DM go, man. WS and Natsumi, they can't kill him. 9 class throwing the blood grenade and securing the kill with the laser.
He didn't even pop
Immediate tip out from
BKB. He
Ducalis.
actually changed his mind for the Desert when he built a BKB, but I mean, this game just looks like it is just
Yeah,
over,
that's
you know.
WS going down. The last tier 2 tower going down. It's a 21k net worth lead, 20 minutes in. Very rarely do you see a net worth lead outpace the clock in a game. Such is the degree of shellacking we are witnessing here. As PARIVISION pushing up to high ground. Aegis still in the inventory for Meepo for another 90 seconds at least. Just over another 95 now. As the first lane of barracks will be focused. Talon realizing this might be the last fight they get here. Blink, RP is ready to go. Oh my goodness, no one, he just blinks in and breaks the smoke. There's no global. There it is now. It's finally out, but they're the ones being initiated on. Where's the opportunity to turn? WS has not found an opening for the RP. It's both supports down. Natsumi uses the BKB just to run back home in the fountain and nearly still dies to the boundless strike of no one. What have they gained? Nothing. The bottom barracks destroyed. PARIVISION, they just move on. Business as usual.
And this is such a clinical performance, you know, by PARIVISION. Oh,
That's
skewer.
a pretty promising skewer, but Satanic, he's just going to poof in the rest of the Meepos now. And again, he still has this Aegis. 45 seconds now, nearly on its last legs. But it's so difficult here. They get the kill. At least there, a nice one onto no one. They end up losing Natsumi for it, though. DM still alive. He actually has not even leveled Reincarnation yet. All of a sudden, Satanic, running back from the fountain, finds himself a Tusk. Down he goes. 8th kill now for the Meepo. Another zip in. Trying to at least find Ducalis here when they're looking for damage anywhere they can. As they still manage to try and defend these barracks, but it is unbearable. They can't do it. Talon, they have to tap out. Natsumi's disconnected. The voice lines are coming out, but PARIVISION, I mean, issuing an absolutely one-sided game here as they take down Talon 2-0.
Yeah, what a beatdown, you know, in the second game. Just